Okay, you ready? All right, we'll call the meeting to order for the Public Works. Month of May. Roll call, please.
Carroll,
Here.
Manning, Cosgrove, Severson,
Present.
Williamson,
Here.
Bowie,
Here.
McGuire. Yep.
All right, verification of open meetings law.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the meeting was properly closed.
We need approval of the agenda. There's going to be a change in the agenda. We're strike number 9 down to an 11-point agenda. Look at motion agenda. Steve with motion. Terry with second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, minutes. If anybody, if we have any corrections to the minutes? If not, I will approve them as published. Public comment. Any public comment? Okay, Brett reports.
Okay, so I really don't have a whole lot, just normal day-to-day stuff, normal things breaking down, so on and so forth, still moving a lot of furniture out of campus to here, to there, to everywhere. Getting to the end of that now, hopefully, so that'll be done. And my one and only thing we have here to bring up is, the boiler system that we've been talking about for the last 4 or 5 years, trying to get CIP money to replace. Well, we finally lost one of our big boilers. It's now leaking and it's all tore apart. They came and tore the front end of it off, and the fire chamber is full of water. So it's rusted a hole or split or somewhere inside the jacket somewhere. And we've been losing water for the past, probably since July of last year. That's been minimal. Couldn't figure out where it was going, but now it's finally showing itself. It's coming out the front of the boiler. So that one is now done. So Precision was here. They came and tore it apart, decided that not fixable. So I've asked Precision and Ash Creek, because they're together, to get us a rough idea of what this was going to cost to replace not just one boiler, but 2. And I talked to Trish and Derek prior to this. And so they gave us a verbal number of 100 and not to exceed 180,000. And that's both boilers. And that's also parts and labor. So for all the gas piping that's going to have to be changed, and water piping, plumbing that's going to have to be done to match the new boilers. So, and it'll also come with a magnetic, he said it comes with a magnetic filtration system also. So for any kind of metals that would possibly come through and all that. And I've sent out, or I've called 2 other places. Of course, one is not interested in a bid on it, because they only do resident, they only stick with residential. So I'll have to go out and search for more estimates from a couple other people to match apples to apples with what we currently have as far as BTUs and gallonage and all that stuff. So that's what I have for not so good news.
Well, what year was that boiler put in?
They are 43 years old.
So, I mean, it's not uncommon. It's the bigger boilers. It's not uncommon for them to last a long time, but there's a lot of maintenance that goes into that, and managing water.
And we have a chemical system that they put chemicals through to keep them as clean as possible. So
They pull them down and inspect them every year.
what's that?
Do they inspect them every year?
They go through the, they don't pull the fronts off, but they do the ignition systems. They go all through they do PMs on all that stuff to make sure. And then we just had them inspected last year by the state inspector, and they pass all the pressure tests and all that stuff. So I've got the paperwork on all that, the certificates on it. So I think they just did it back in like August of last year, something like that, so.
So how do they rate these boilers? Do they go by horsepower, or how do you guys tell how big your boilers are?
BTUs, so they're 1.3 million BTUs. So we have two of them, so basically, he said we need about 3 million BTUs to stay with, what we currently have. So 1.5 million apiece is roughly. So,
These aren't the kind you retube.
No,
No.
this is too small. That,
yeah, these are
Steve
small.
went around the cities.
These are small
Yeah.
compared to, they're not the big giant boilers. If you want to see it, it's all tore apart. You can, if you want to see it after the meeting, visually look at it.
Just to see it, but I didn't know how small it'd go.
That's the same one. That's why I'm asking the question. Because we got a 450 to 500 horse that we run every day. So they pull the tubes out, replace the tubes. That's why them boilers last 100 years, because they just keep rebuilding them as they go until,
The tubes are the weak point.
until it fails, right? Biggest thing is chemical balancing is crucial, because if you get it out of whack, it's just gonna eat that boiler right up. So.
He said they're way past their life expectancy already. He said he's surprised that they made it this long, so.
That's good.
Keeping the chemical system up is.
Yeah, and there's a filtration system. There's two filtration systems, one in that boiler room and then one in the other one too. So they work in conjunction with each other because it runs through both sides of the building.
Well, it does sound out of line. I think we just put 100 in that school district or Riverdale. We had to
Yep,
go
they-
through both them.
Yeah, they just put that one in.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I know we work with precision a lot, but you're gonna want to try hard to get 3 bids.
Yeah, and I am, so. Or estimates or whatever you want to call
Randy,
it. Yeah,
can we run the AC system with the way it is right now or no?
yeah, AC's on right now.
Okay, so we do have a little bit of time.
Well, he was concerned about tariffs, so he says if we push this out, the prices are gonna skyrocket on the, boilers if we wait too long, and then he says your lead time on getting them. He said right now we're looking at 3 to 4.5 weeks right now with the current ones that they are looking at. If we wait any longer, that it could change that price quite a bit, so.
So where's the money gonna come from? General fund? You know what I mean? That's my question. Because we don't have that in the budget. There's no way there's that much.
I
So
guess.
I mean, general fund is probably,
Do we have any ARPA money left?
Yes,
how much?
enough to cover that.
So we can use it for
We
that.
could use that. There's maybe a couple different spots. You could use
So
our.
there's money there. ARPA money to get through.
Yeah,
This money's gotta be spent anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
not
you
that
got-
it's foolish to spend it, but
Well, it isn't. Cool, but
yeah,
But it's only May.
I know the last 4 years I've asked for CIP money and they always pushed it out the next year, the next year, the next year. And so we've done this for 4 years now, and this is where we're at.
typically, yeah. Now you have to do something, so it is just a matter, I would work as fast as you can on getting
Yep.
responses from somebody else, so we can put it on the agenda for next month.
I would just add, just go back, look at that procurement policy we just passed this past year, make sure we're doing everything for that.
Yep, we've already taken a look at that. Yeah, and the goal is to get 3 bids as long as we're under the 200.
Well, good luck finding 2 more people to bid on it,
Yeah.
why not? And that wouldn't surprise me. Hopefully you do, hopefully one comes in cheaper. All right.
Nope, that's all I have.
All right. Got it. You got it.
All right, we'll start with the monthly bills. This month's total came to $502,636.77. The larger expenditures, one was from Westbrook, which is the bridge inspections, the 6 to 20 foot structures for $46,850. A large portion of that is reimbursed 100% from the state of Wisconsin with 6 to 20 program. First Source Bank for $27,840. This was the Cabelco excavator. We were able to clean that situation up, get that taken care of. So that's the first payment on it. There'll be, at this point, 3 more years of that dollar amount payment with a dollar buyout when that is done. So then we will own that piece of equipment.
So is that, how much is this 27,000? Is that monthly? Yearly.
Yeah, we always, every time we do an equipment lease, we never do a monthly payment. We always do just an annual payment. And down fuel, County Road O data recovery, 11,581.58. We're gonna probably see some more expense with that as the whole project continues on because they have to be on site, during excavation when they go deeper than what was originally excavated. Basically, it's just a watchdog at that point. It's just one guy standing there. Going down, $130,070.06. That's the first payment to Larson Construction for the campus bridge. With that total, that leaves us about $387,000 left to pay before that project is completed. And that's about the largest expenditures that probably would give an explanation, Mr. Chair.
When is Larson, when's their end date?
Final construction is to be all 100% completed at June 17th. They are actually this week, probably tomorrow, if not, they did it this afternoon. They were actually finishing the forms and pouring the curb pit walls, which is the guardrail going down the side of concrete and the sidewalk. After that, it'll be there working. It'll look like a little less work is getting done because the concrete and everything is setting, and they'll be working on the structure and the main retention stuff around the bridge. But either way, they will be out of there by June 17th. They're making extreme headway on it.
Is there any time you gotta wait after that, or is it operable already?
It is operable. Soon as the last day of construction is ready to go.
It's ready to go.
Yeah. Elsewhere in the county, state crews have been working. They finished undressing all the snowplow trucks, and then they moved into washing bridges. And right now, they are starting to spray the roadsides with the growth inhibitor. That's hopefully, this is our 3rd year operating that growth inhibitor, and we hope to reduce mowing costs by doing that on the state highway system. First year we used it, it was great. Second year, off year, some places it worked, some places it didn't, but the state's paying for it. So we're gonna try it again this year and keep running with it until we see like benefits of being able to save hours and time on it.
Will that ever turn into something we'll do at the county level?
I am using the state system as a guinea pig first to see the viability of it before we start spending money on chemicals and spraying county roads. I expect to give it a couple more years before I transition it into the county system.
I'm sure it'll bring up a lot of questions if you start doing it.
We have slideshows and information prepared for that. Again, it's a growth inhibitor. It actually reduces the parsnip because it prevents it from ever getting to seed, and it promotes like butterfly habitat, milkweed, and everything thrives in that environment because it keeps all like great broadleaf stuff out of it. And then the rest of us is minor patching with the state. County, they did some work in the park system, removing the bathrooms at Viola and Rockbridge, pouring concrete slabs, and we are putting ADA accessible porta johns there as new bathroom facilities because the original facilities were extremely bad. The crews have been primarily shouldering at this point. They're traveling on the county. Pretty much our entire workforce is out re-shoulder roads from the winter maintenance. And then they also undressed all the snowplow trucks as well. And then with that, when they undress them, they go through, they wash out all the cylinders and they spray like a salt inhibitor and a coating on there to protect them to try to get more life out of them. 6 to 20 foot structures, update on that. I've talked about that several times in the past. The 6 to 20 foot structure program is a program issued by the state of Wisconsin. It is a chance to get more funding opportunity for the structures that do not qualify as a bridge, but they're still a water crossing. 6 to 20 foot structures are very expensive to replace, and the county does do a cost share program with townships when they reach out for it, in which case 50% of their costs are reimbursed. So the first thing the state wanted to do was do an inventory of all those structures in the state of Wisconsin. That phase has been completed. We are into the inspection phase of that. At this point, we are having to shut down a few roads as of right now around the county in the townships because of structures that are structurally not safe to cross. In which case we are working with those townships to go through the cost share program, or can we fix this without having to do a whole complete cost share? So that's gonna be a growing concern as Cedar Core and some of these engineers are going around inspecting these structures. We could see a lot more closed. I think right now we're up to five roads that we've had to close, and we're working through the repair process and best solution for the townships. So keep that in mind, that will be a cost that we have to reimburse to the townships in the future, and we could see a good spike in that over the next year. And then we're gonna continue to seek equipment replacement like I have in years past, or we talked about, especially with this committee. We just had another one of our small baby dump trucks. We call them 6-packs. The engine blew in it. It's destroyed. A replacement one is gonna run you about $10,000. It's hard to justify putting that into a rusted truck. So we're gonna seek for replacement, but of course I stay in the used market to keep our costs down on that, because new one's gonna run you about $100,000. So we'll try to find something 50,000 or less. And we are watching one in Boston right now. We're talking to the dealer about it. It's a freshly traded in 2023 Chevy 3500 with a dump box 4-door, and I believe we can get that one for under 50,000, but we'll work that out in weeks to come. And that's what I have for departmental activities, Mr. Chair.
All right, any questions?
Josh, so how many structures do we have?
Of the 6 to 20s?
Yeah.
Hundreds.
So no set number, you just know it's a lot.
We know it's a lot.
And
I don't have the full numbers that's been reported out of Richland County alone, but there's thousands.
You say inspection has found 5 that they flagged as no good.
Correct.
Do we know how far along they are, or how many still?
So far, I know they've been working through Forest Township, Eagle Township, Westford Township, and I think we're about halfway through of Richland's inspections of the county level.
Get a feel for how big a hit this is gonna be.
We couldn't even begin to tell you how big of a hit it's gonna be until they're inspected, because when they're on secluded township roads with low volume traffic, I don't think any of us really do much for inspections on them in years past. Now it's required. We're gonna find things that have just been not looked at.
When do we think the inspections will be done?
By the end of this year.
Yeah, that could get real interesting.
Yeah.
Because there's hundreds of them. Hundreds.
Hasn't even been a couple months into it, we're already 5 roads closed down.
So
So
them are just township roads.
those are just township roads.
What about Deer County?
So far, we're doing good on the county because we can inspect them every year.
I would hope you shouldn't have any surprises.
I don't think we will. We won't in the last, since I've taken over, we only have one culvert like threatened collapse where we had to shut the road down, and we were able to fix it, but that one was 15 to 20 feet underground. But like I said, we have a culvert inventory book. We also have a digitized version of it with all the locations with culverts, and we send out the crews usually in early spring and inspect all the structures.
So are you guys inspect your own on those?
We visually inspect them, but then we have Westbrook who does our bridge inspections. They're the ones that held the contract to do our 6 to 20s as well from an engineer standpoint.
Yeah, that could get. A lot of roads out there, a lot of old box culverts and stuff like that that have been there for. And some of them, it's amazing, they actually are in better shape than one would think they are.
Yeah.
But. A lot of them out there. Discussion possible action on 50/50 cost share.
So as I was just talking about and the departmental activities, these are ones from the past, the last year that we initiated into with Bloom, Ithaca, and Marshall. This is a standard procedure. What happens is they come to us by the 1st of July, they designate what culverts they want replaced. We come in, do the work, put the culvert in, they pay us for the culvert and the work being performed. The following year, they get reimbursed. So this year, to reimburse, we have Town of Bloom on Tar Hollow for a reimbursement of $22,633.76. Town of Ithaca, Hell Hollow, $6,179.57. Town of Ithaca, $5,497.27. And Town of Marshall and Mary Hill, for $4,654.15, with a grand total be paid back to townships of $38,964.74. And this is in the resolution form as on the screen, because it has to go from here to county board for reimbursement, so this would need a vote.
All right. I need a motion to approve this resolution and the cost share. Second, Steve. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, motion carries, all right. If there's any question there.
I could add more to departmental activities concerning the whole project, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
We had our pre-con meeting yesterday. The initial kickoff date for construction is set for the first week in June. Mises has kind of promoted they may start May 27th. They're going to start at the south end at the intersection of Ola, Double O, and Santa Claus Lane and work their way north. The final completion date for construction, which means the road is completely open, everything is done of October 31st. We will be holding weekly progress meetings on Mondays at 1 p.m. and they will be virtual meetings. They are going to do a public involvement meeting currently scheduled for May 20th at 6 p.m. at the old Orion Town Hall. We're going to do just the one public involvement meeting, and if we need to hold more down the road, we will do so. And their work days are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. unless they get rained out, then they'll work Saturdays, but weather permitting, be able to stick to a normal scheduled work week on that. No major snags thus far. The only one that we did run into was Frontier has yet to do their relocations. Their utilities on that project, they have been extremely hard to get a hold of and get going on. We had to play a little, if you would, hardball with them. The state of Wisconsin, as well as Richland County, had pulled all their other permits and future permits until this work is completed, because otherwise it'll cost Richland County down the road, because Mizey would have to do change orders to work around Frontier. We are not gonna do that. Frontier has decided that next week, Monday, they will be on site. So hopefully, I have to see how that plays out.
That's the fiber line then? That fiber line?
I'm sure that's part of it. They have fiber down there.
Go ahead and go come real quick. Question, on the campus bridge. Do you do a final walkthrough with West Bridge?
Yep, there's punch list items that will be on site to actually make sure everything is up to snuff, everything looks good.
Well, I mean, you do it with,
Yes.
okay.
Then County Highway is gonna be open all the time for traffic?
It will be, if they have to do a closure, like a hard closure, they will give everybody I think it's a 48-hour advance warning to work around that. But there will be some closures hard when they have to do large structure replacement driveways, and they will do the best they can to keep everybody rotating through there. It'll be treated as a road closure, but it's road closed for through traffic. Anybody that has business on that road or lives on that road will be able to get through.
Only
100,000 people that have to.
Silent, well, I worry more about, because everybody crosses down there, right? So Matt's going this way and Ash Creek's, going this way, and then Kellers and Stibbies are going, that's the bigger thing is all that tractor traffic is what's gonna happen in June. And, every 28 days, it's gonna be the same thing.
Right.
So that's gonna get pretty interesting how that is, because there's a lot of traffic on that road anyway.
Mises will be working directly with the farmers and businesses on that route. Richland County is out of it at that point because it's under the management of Mises Construction.
But it's gonna be, they're gonna have their hands on it. Yeah, so they're using our town hall, our old town hall and then they park their shop trailer there.
Yep.
All right. Number 10, so skipping number 9 or going to number 10 on the agenda would be future agenda items. Do we have any future agenda items?
I got a question. Do parks and the fair come under our committee, or are they separate?
To my understanding, parks, fair, recycling follow wherever I go. So here we are.
I know nothing about what's going on with parks, maybe occasional update if there's anything going on.
Parks was shifted underneath highway because we had the equipment and partial availability to be able to maintain those, but we moved it into more or less a maintenance style world. We're not looking at recreating like big change in the parks and turning into big campgrounds and things. The only thing that was initiated was Viola Park. They wanted to change that to an official campground. We are working through that process currently. But again, it's tent camping. We're not offering a bunch of like gravel sites and sewer and water. We just want to keep it basic. What we can actually have the appetite to
I
maintain.
mean, if we're just mowing grass and whatnot, that's fine. I
That's
did,
basically what we're doing.
I guess we need that as a future agenda item.
You don't need one then? Terry, you got anything? Steve, anything from you? Future agenda?
Nope.
All right. Any correspondence? No correspondence, I get a motion to adjourn. Terry, Steve, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Motion adjourned. It's completed. Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
Say,
Good luck.
Hey, you owe me lunch. No.